All right. This document is called Understanding Frames, and it's in the second group of files called Adding Text Overview. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start understanding some of the mechanics of how to work with your InDesign document, namely the idea of frames. So there's 3 different types of frames. I'm going to click and drag this over to the right so you can see the screen. And the first is a text frame. So I grab the type tool and I click and drag a type container, and then I can type directly into that type container. And as I type into it, I can then make changes to the text, modify the text. We'll go through that. The other way to do this is to import or plant or place text into a type container. The next type of text frame is a placeholder frame. So I click, I drag, and I make a placeholder, and it has this X through it. And you'll see that when you hold down the toolbar that there's a number of different types. There are ellipse and polygonal frames, placeholder frames as well. And the idea is that graphics, pictures, and logos will go into this, and I can place an element into that, and then by placing it into that, I can control how the element wraps inside of that container. The third type of container is called an unassigned container, and it just looks like this. And the idea with this is that if I just want to assign something like a color to a shape or something like that, to a filled region, then I would use this unassigned frame. So you have your text frame, you have your placeholder frame, and your unassigned frames, okay? After I place an image into a frame, I can manipulate the image. So as you can see here, when I click on the background here, I can change how this image wraps inside of this frame, okay? And there are a couple other things here. When I click on the text box, you'll see this is text has been wrapped into a frame. And there are handles on the corners and on the ends. And then there's 2 buttons here. There's the intro button to add text and the outro to add additional text going out the other way. And then I have a button, the blue button here allows me to anchor a text to anchor the frame, and this one allows me to round the corners. So let's look here on this one. I'm going to click on this box, and you'll see that it is filled with the color, this color here. I can come up to my color swatches, and I can assign another color to it by clicking, or I can come over here to the left and double click and choose a color from here and fill it with that color. I'm going to undo that. Let's go back to the original color. Then I can also round the corners of this element by clicking on that little yellow box, and then I can grab this and drag this to round the corners of the box. And you can see that the corners have been rounded. So that's an important part of InDesign, is the idea of frames. And basically there's 3 types, right? There's a frame for text, a frame for objects called placeholder frames, such as graphics, pictures, and logos. And then there's the quote unquote unassigned frame, which is just usually used for a solid fill or gradient fill or pattern fill used in the background. And I can modify and manipulate these. And then after I place elements on the screen, everything basically is poured into a frame, and then the frames are layered or stacked on top of one another to create your document.